Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2011 Hyundai Azera GLS. Up front is a 3.3 liter V6, and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Hyundai Azera for two reasons. First of all, this is the final year of this body style. This body style lasted from 2005 to 2011, and of course was updated for the 2012 model year. The second reason is that this is a really well-kept, low-mileage example of an Azera, so I'm excited to share with you what this would have looked like when it was purchased new 14 years ago. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3.3 liter V6 under the hood. Well, for the GLS, this was actually the lower trim offering. You could also get a 3.8 liter V6. However, the owner actually wanted the 3.3 liter due to its less fuel consumption. It still makes good power. It still is torquey. It's still that V6 experience that you might want out of a vehicle like this. However, it does sip a little bit more, and it's a relatively well-known V6. It makes enough power at 260. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Nothing really too crazy here. It doesn't go bump in the night, and I like that. I think it works pretty well. Last but not least, about the drivetrain, it is front-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Hyundai Azera? Or Azera, I'm going to keep switching them in and out. It's kind of a hard name to pronounce. But either way, it drives fine. Nothing really too notable about it. The one thing I will say is that it does have that nice V6. I truly miss when regular cars had V6s and you didn't have to push them just to go forward. I also right now have a Lexus TX350 at home, and that is a 4-cylinder turbo. That should be a V6. Having a V6 is now a privilege, and I really enjoy it here. It has that sort of unbothered driving experience, which is really, really nice. Visibility is also decent. Ride quality's okay. This is where you're really going to notice that it isn't a luxury car. It's going to ride a little bit harder than possibly other vehicles, but that's okay at the end of the day. With that stuff out of the way, rhyming today. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Hey, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my coolant temperature and tachometer, and off to the right is the speedometer and fuel, as well as a little digital readout, giving me the odometer, gear, eco driving, things like that. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our mode and skip track, and off to the right, we have our cruise control options. Very simple and easy, very, very 2000s, but that's okay. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, as well as our gauge dimmer switch and traction control off. And moving on to the door, we have the latch to get in and out, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have the digital clock, as well as 2 climate vents, and the radio. We do have a CD player, as well as it is MP3 capable here. And down below, we have the climate controls. Very happy to see dual zone climate here. I think that is a nice luxury feature. And we get this nice little openable cubby. Really enjoy that. Then we have another openable cubby down below. This is our 12-volt outlet / cigarette lighter and ash tray. And we have selectors for our heated seats. Really nice to see that feature. Then we do have the shifter. The shifter is kind of smooth. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It looks fine, but it's just kind of awkward. And then we do have our cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' model test, and I'm happy to report that it does in fact pass, just like its pre-facelift sibling. Then we do have a dual opening center console. You can open up the top or the main compartment as well. Very, very nice to see that. And then the seats. The seats are heated and power. They are nice and comfortable. I am pleasantly enjoying them. And they do feel a little bit more luxury than economy, which is something that I would look for out of a vehicle like this. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2011 Hyundai Azera GLS, and a couple of things to note. First of all, this is my seating position, which I did move further back than the owner's seating position, and I still have so much room for my knees. I have plenty of space back here. Really, really, truly impressive amount of space. Like I said, I could even move it up further and have even more, but it just seems unnecessary at that point. We do have a 12-volt outlet as well as 2 climate control vents, power windows, of course, and we do have a center console with some openable cup holders in here. So nothing too crazy. I'm not getting weird, wacky massage seats or weird Corinthian leather back here, but it is a very nice place to be. Would I mind riding back here for hours on end? Probably not. It's a really nice place to be. I'm not being hit over the head with screens and technology, but that's okay in a car like this. You don't need that in a car like this. So this is just enough for me. And I really, really enjoy that. I'm 5'11", not a small guy. I always try to say my height for those inclined. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back here, we do have a trunk button here on the key fob. And just pull it up like that. Huge, huge trunk. This is a big body sedan from Hyundai, so you get all the space that you would ever want in the back. Really, really nice to see that. Again, no crazy features. This car doesn't really rely on features to wow its customers. It relies on the space and just volume. I mean, the back seats were great, the trunk is great, so it makes sense that it is a great car. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I don't overly love the look of this car. However, I will say they did facelift it, and in its final year, I think this is the best looking version of this car. So that is something to say. It does have that 2000 styling, but I like a lot of the body color matched panels and things like that. I think overall it kind of has that mid-2000s tuner look, which I think is personally very cool. However, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the final year of this generation of Hyundai Azera? Well, I like it a lot. I think this does a lot of things really well. The downsides of it is that it doesn't feel like a full luxury vehicle. It's sort of teetering on that edge. It is a very nice car. I will say that. It is very, very nice, but it's not quite a luxury automobile that we might expect out of the brand nowadays. However, there are plenty of things to love. I love the heated seats. I like the 3.3 liter V6. I like the tech and infotainment is good for the late 2000s. I like all of that together. And I do want to say there is one funny thing about the name. I know I can't pronounce it properly, but Hyundai actually sued another company that had a similar name that was down in Florida. It was a little EV startup, and they had to change their name to Rivian. Yes, Hyundai actually sued Rivian over their original name, which I find to be very, very funny. But I like this car a lot. I think it does things well, and I think it was a pretty solid base for the Hyundai group. Now, Hyundai has great products, especially in their Genesis line, which this was before the Genesis era. Genesis started, I believe, the late 2010s. I recently had the Genesis G80, and it's a fantastic luxury vehicle that could rival Mercedes on any given day. That is leaps and bounds ahead of this car. However, you can kind of see those seeds being planted. This is a nicer feeling car than Hyundais of yesteryear. Think of that Hyundai Accent that I recently drove, that purple one. I mean, this is so far ahead of what that car was. So this is a very important stepping stone in Hyundai's story. And I was so excited to share with you a clean, relatively low mileage example of one here today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Matt for letting me borrow his Hyundai Azera for today's video. He has been absolutely wonderful to work with. I appreciate him and his fiance Erica for making the time for me today. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.